Hey everybody, it's LTM here. I'm at the Hall Cinema 7 right now, and I'm about to go and watch two movies, Paw Patrol 2 and Saw 10. Saw Patrol. Get it? Because, you know, that's kind of the meme that's been going around for a while. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, you guys remember Barbenheimer, where you combine two movies that come out the exact same weekend, like you had Barbie and Oppenheimer, and then you have Barbenheimer. Well, today we have 3 or 4 movies that came out this weekend. One of them is they're not showing here, but one of them is The Creator, and then the other two are Paw Patrol: The Mighty Movie and Saw 10, or Saw X if you want to call it that. So just want to let this out. Here's the thing I'm going to do. So because one movie starts a little bit earlier and then the other one starts around another hour and a half later, what I'll do is I'll come back, I'll talk about one of the movies first, give you all my full review on that one, and then I'll do it and I'll edit another review and try to just do another one later and just do them separate. I'm not going to do like say like I won't come back. I'm not going to be able to come back and then do one review and then just go back and watch another movie, because this theater does not show any trailers and I wouldn't have time to see the entire thing. So I want to make sure and get there in time to do that. But I'm going to review these movies the best that I can, and I'm going to make sure to give you all my thoughts when I come back for both movies. But first I'm going to go to Paw Patrol, and then when I come back, I'll talk about Paw Patrol, and then I'll go watch, okay, let me start over a little bit. I'll go watch Paw Patrol, and then go watch Saw 10, come back, do a video on Paw Patrol, and maybe if it's not too dark, or if I'm just not tired or not too tired or anything, I might be able to do Saw 10, edit and do another Saw 10 movie next, or I may just do Saw 10 when I get home. I don't know. But basically that's the main thing. So I'll give you all my thoughts on Paw Patrol when I come back, basically, from both movies. And this is LTM, and I'll be right back. Hey guys, I'm back. Okay, so I just got out of Paw Patrol: The Mighty Movie. I still have a little bit more time for my double feature. I just want to state right now that I did not grow up with Paw Patrol. In fact, I've never seen an episode or even the first movie, which I think came out during COVID, I think. The first Paw Patrol. However, I am aware that this is a really popular series on Nick Jr. The show was created by, I forgot the creator's name, but he's also the same creator that worked on Bob the Builder and Fifi and the Flowers or something like that. The creator of Bob the Builder worked on Paw Patrol, and ever since 2013, maybe 14, it has become a phenomenon. Anybody that did not grow up in the 2010s would not know. Any kid in the 2010s, or any sort of adult knew what it was. Paw Patrol is everywhere, and it still is even to this day. I mean, they still have the series. They do have a second movie that just got released, 2 of them, and I think they just announced a 3rd film. So, yeah, Paw Patrol is a big thing right now. And going into it, I wanted to go into this with fresh eyes. I thought it was going to be cringeful, but on the other hand, I wanted to judge the film as it is for someone who didn't grow up with the series or someone who didn't watch the first film. So I went into it, and I'm not going to lie, I thought it was fine, honestly. Now, is this something that I'm going to probably watch all the time? Not really. But it is good, honestly. Strangely enough, really good, actually. Yes, this is for preschoolers. This is made for a very specific audience. And this movie is appealing to those fans who like the series. So if you don't like the series, or you're not familiar with it, it's likely you're not going to get into it. But for me, it strangely enough appealed to me a little bit, because for someone who was not a fan, or someone who is new to the show and the series, this was okay and probably debatably good. But so the movie, Paw Patrol, they're like these little puppies. They basically just drive in vehicles and they go around and saving the day. But in this movie, you've got this villain, and she's basically wants this meteor that makes you have superpowers. But then once the meteor gets destroyed and puts it in the hands of the pups, they end up getting superpowers. And then the villain basically breaks out of prison, and then with the help of this mayor villain, I guess he was the villain for the first film. Basically, they get out of prison, and then there's a subplot involving the little tiny puppy who's basically feels like she's feeling left out. She's the smallest of the group. She's the runt of the litter is what they call her. And basically, the rest of the movie is just them trying to figure out what these powers do, and basically how to stop this bad guy from taking over the world and doing something with the power diamonds or whatever those things, those crystals or whatever. So, pretty simplistic plot. I mean, not really much happens in it, and it's very simple and bare bone. The humor, there are some funny moments in this, believe it or not. They're not laugh out loud funny moments, but there are some moments here and there, but most of it is pretty juvenile and pretty childish. And I feel like the voice acting for the most part is pretty typical. Okay, maybe not typical, maybe simplistic, if you want to call it that. The voice acting is not really high A art. It's not, nobody's trying, except maybe the celebrities. I mean, you had Chris Rock, James Marsden, Lil Weir Howery, I forgot his name, but they have cameos and side characters that are voice talents that are in this. They got some celebrities in this movie. I guess much like a lot of movies based on TV shows, they'd have like maybe a couple celebrities, and this one had quite a few in there. But there are some good laughs in it, but it's not really anything that nothing that would laugh out loud to. But the good parts is that the message, while done to death, is executed fine, and it's a very simple yet very relatable moral. The movie has some really fun action scenes. I'll also give it that. And the movie does have some really fun villains. I really like the villain in this movie. She's really funny, very, very creative. There's a lot of, she has some of the best moments in the entire film. She's probably the reason why I kept watching the film, and that's really about it. So not much I can say about Paw Patrol other than it's just kind of exists just to kind of exist. But honestly, for what I got, it was fine. Nothing made me cringe. Nothing made me say, "Oh, that was terrible," or "Oh, this is so bad. Oh, it didn't give me a headache." It got my attention at least. I can't say it was great. It's not something I would probably want to go watch again anytime soon. But if you have kids that love the show or the franchise overall, this is not a bad time. I had fun with it. It's not great, but it's not bad. Now, of course, before I end off this review, I should mention the short that everybody online has been talking about, and that's the Dora the Explorer short. Now, I did grow up watching Dora the Explorer growing up, have a nostalgic connection with her. I did watch the 2019 film, but that's a different story for a different day. But the short was not good, really. I mean, it's another one of those talk to you, like if you watch Dora, she would talk to the audience and tell the kids what to do, and it's not my thing anymore, honestly. I will say though, and I should have said this in the beginning, because I was the only one in that theater, whenever Dora or Boots kept mentioning or talking to the audience, I kept laughing my ass off whenever they did, because I kept laughing to myself, hey, I'm the only one in this freaking theater at 1 o'clock in the morning. It's crazy. 1 o'clock in the afternoon, actually. So, yeah, the short, I give it a 5 out of 10. The Mighty movie, I give like a 7 out of 10. So, it was fine. Nothing I wouldn't go see again, but if you have kids, they'll enjoy it probably a lot more. Okay, that was Paw Patrol the Mighty movie. I'm about to go back inside and probably wait a little bit longer, and I'm about to go in and watch Saw 10. I'll give you all my thoughts on the Saw franchise when I come back, and if I do, I'll probably be back in the car. I'll probably be back driving on my way back home, but this is LTM, and I will be right back with you guys. Hey guys, LTM here. I just got back from the movie. I just got out of the shower and went back home, took a shower and everything like that, and I just had to change clothes. So I'm here to give you all my quick thoughts on Saw 10. So I stated earlier a while ago that I saw Paw Patrol, thought it was okay, all right, actually, not as bad as I thought it would be. And now I saw Saw 10. Now, just a little background that I actually have a weird, complicated relationship with the Saw movies, kind of like Insidious, which is ironic considering that James Wan also worked on these movies. I like the first 2 Saw films, but anywhere around the 3rd or 4th movie, I just kind of got sick of them, and I just did not like any of the near ones afterwards, except maybe Spiral. Spiral was the closest thing besides the first two films that I kind of sort of liked, but that's probably because I like Chris Rock and Samuel L. Jackson. But other than that, I didn't like any other Saw movie after the second or third film. So I was kind of concerned when I heard they were making a 10th movie. But then I had some high hopes a little bit because, according to an interview from one of the filmmakers, it was supposed to connect a little. It's supposed to be an actual sequel to the first Saw, and it's in between the second Saw film. So it's kind of a prequel to the second film. It's also an actual sequel to the first film. It's kind of complicated. So I went into this film hoping it would be good, and surprisingly it was. It wasn't great. I still prefer the first two films, but I surprisingly liked it nonetheless. I could even safely say it's probably the best Saw film we've had in a very long time. So basically, it takes place after the first film. There's this old man. He's probably from the past films, and he's basically he's traveling somewhere, but then he ends up in surgery. And basically, he creates this game called Saw, or if you've seen the other movies, it's basically the same thing. It's like, you have it's basically, if you don't do this certain thing in time, you end up getting killed. And then this creature called Jigsaw comes in, which here it's only like a small cameo. He's like some of the other films. He comes in, he comes out with his bicycle and basically presses like presses the recorder, and then they just tell you what to do, and if you don't do it in time, you end up getting killed. And basically, if you do end up succeeding, then you basically just go scot-free. I'm not going to spoil what happens in this movie because, to be fair, I had like the most of these movies, I had no idea where it was going to go, and I like movies that do that. The other thing is that there are some really good jump scares in this. Okay, maybe not jump scares, but actually more just creepy moments in it. The thing about the strongest aspect of the first two Saw films were its atmosphere and its killings. Each and every character, it's like you can't really tell who to sympathize with, and that's really good. The movie's making me constantly guess. I like movies that do that. The killings are really good here. Probably some of the best killings in any of the past Saw films. Probably the bloodiest even. I'm not sure. Maybe Spiral was a little bit bloodier, but I think this one's the bloodiest. The movie has a really interesting concept, of course, for being a Saw film. I love the ideas they have in this one, and everybody. It's like I said, I didn't know who to sympathize with in these movies, so it's really hard to do because pretty much like some of those rare movies, everybody is the bad guy, so it's kind of hard for you to root for everybody. The killings, for the most part, are pretty good. The acting's good for the most part. The music is pretty solid. And I will say, a couple of the criticisms I have are the editing. Just like the other Saw movies, I hate how these movies are edited. Like, they have to show, like, these flashbacks, and it's, like, all these weird editing choices. I didn't like that. And the questionable ending, which I'm not going to spoil, but I guess it sort of makes sense if you go back and watch the first two films. It's really complicated, but that's kind of what happened. It kind of, like I said, it takes place between 1 and 2, so it's kind of complicated how the continuity works. But other than that, I enjoyed Saw 10 for what it was. Is it the best film in the series? Not by a long shot, but it's pretty close. And I enjoyed it quite a bit, and I do recommend it if you love the first two Saw films. If you love any of the other sequels, then you're not going to get into it. But then again, I don't know anybody that likes the other sequels, so I don't know who to judge. I give Saw 10 an 8.5 out of 10. I enjoyed it a lot. If you like James Wan's films, or if you just want to see another bloody, gory Saw movie, then go at it. However, if you're just getting sick of these movies, like I said before, I'm getting sick to death of Saw at this point. If you're gonna end these movies, I say just end it here, honestly. But that's Hollywood for you. That's what these movies are made here to do. Alright guys, that's Saw Patrol. Yeah, I went and saw Paw Patrol and Saw 10. Yeah. That was interesting. I don't think these movies will be as big as something like Barbenheimer, which I doubt they'll even make money at all. Well, I'm sure they'll make money, but they're not going to make billions of dollars. But they're going to do pretty well this past weekend, I'm sure. And I'm hoping they will succeed and stuff like that, because both are good movies. I do prefer Saw 10 over Paw Patrol, but still, that's just my opinion. All right, guys, which movie did you go see this weekend as I am recording this? Please subscribe, comment below, let me know. This is LTM signing out. I'll see you guys next time.